So I don't know how this video is going to go because it's just me and Maytag here today, and she's in there watching shows, so we'll see how long that lasts. But I thought I would show you how I made my wonky little magazine flowers. This one I folded the edges up, which is easy. So these are just a few of them. I made a basket full of them last week, and they were a lot of fun. So we're going to start from the beginning. Magazines. I have a whole bin of what I call textures that I get out of magazines. And textures are the pieces that they're textured, they're patterned, they're nice, they're floral, they're whatever. Fashion magazines and the home decor magazines are the best. So let's look through Oprah. Oprah has a few things, but you see this wall here behind this woman. That has got a great texture to it. You could use something like this. When you're making the flowers, I tabbed off a couple of pages. When you are making the flowers, another good thing to look for are solid colors. So, like, I tabbed this page because I like the snow texture, I like the way the trees look, I don't care about the guy and whatever, you're not going to really notice him anyway. So, we're going to go ahead and take this page out. I also tabbed this purple page because I like the flowers, I like the color, and for this, it's going to be perfect. But don't get over crazy like me and save a giant box of textures. You could do something like this. I'm just not, because I'm going to actually use this in something. So my textures are like last resort things to take out of a magazine. Like, you can take something with leaves. I love using leaves and wood looking texture. So that's the Oprah. And then I also have an Elle Decor. And of course, the one I got this month didn't have a huge texture selection, which is, just typical. But I tabbed this page because look at this wallpaper, right? Isn't that just great? And you can use the other stuff in it for this because who cares? They're going to be petals. You're not going to be making some kind of fantastical piece of art. And I tabbed this one because of the contrasting. You do want to add some colors to, you do want to change up the colors so that they look colorfully, beautifully, wonderfully, right? And those are the only ones. You could do this too. You could take that one too for the blue. You can take, in my bucket, I happen to have a lot of dark colors, but they add a nice contrast of color between the dark and the light. So you can do this with the white. You can do this here, with this picture, or this background. The fashion magazines have some great textures from their ads and stuff. So let's go ahead and take our page. Fold it. Don't be fussy. Don't be fancy. Okay? Fold it again. I see you over there trying to be fussy. Stop. You can fold it again if you want. You don't have to. And then take your snippers and cut what you think looks like petals. Okay? Petal looking shapes. Let them fall. Do it again. Make them like roughly the same size, unless you want to do a bunch of different sizes. I cut out a whole bunch of different sizes, and that was a real pain in my butt, because then I had to go through and like kind of organize them by size. So start with like one size. They don't have to be all the same shape. You can make some kind of skinny. I've done that. I made some skinny. I made some fat. See, I'm throwing this aside, but I'm also going to use this for, I'll show you after, but I cut out a bunch of other things from these, like I cut out triangles, and I cut out I'll show you. I'll show you. This here, because of this, I don't want this contents and all this big white space, because you're going to get some with a whole bunch of white space. You're just going to throw it out anyway. So I just cut the border off of these ones. Don't be fancy. Just chop it off, okay? Just get rid of it. You're not, these are wonky flowers. They are not, you know, amazing bouquets of stunning award-winning roses, okay? Let's do it again. Let's fold and fold. And can I do one more? Will that be too small? Nah, that'll be okay. Let's get roughly the same size petals. Some of my petals are like so wonky crazy because it's just the way I cut them. It's just nuts. So, and another thing I was doing on the main fold line, I was making hearts. So you can also use hearts as petals if you want to. You know, you can make flowers from hearts, you know, and just go around like that. So don't forget, don't forget. And we'll make some more petals. These are going to be a little bit bigger apparently, but that's okay, we can still use them. Now you can be some kind of magical genius and keep these scrap pieces and do something phenomenal. Me, I'm not that magical. I have so many scrap pieces. Let's go ahead and cut these. Another thing I was doing too, just because of what I was using the pages for, I was just trimming off my ripped ends. And I'll show you why. I'll show you how I was cutting mine out. And you'll see what I was doing. So I was taking my main end here and I was making hearts. Okay, different sizes. These I'm going to do some small ones. So some bitty hearts, right? And they come out pretty good every time. That's a nice looking heart. So, and then I'll make a long heart. Nice looking hearts, right? Crazy hearts, crazy hearts. And then on my cut edge, I was making triangles to use as hats, like the Tisha Moore style hats on people that I glue. I said, why don't I just make triangles out of textured, you know, out of my texture pages. And look, I'll cut one skinny one out of the rest of this. Look, we're going to use up every inch of this paper. I'm like, why don't I just make some Tisha Moore style hats and not have to worry so much about finding hats to cut out in magazines? Why don't I just make some? And then I'd go through and I'd cut some petals out of the rest. I was cutting out butterfly wings and stuff too, but they're embarrassingly ugly. I'm still going to use them because they're my butterfly wings that are embarrassingly ugly, but some of you artsy people are probably going to be like, oh my god, those are just hideous. So, and I know that's what you talk like too. I know it. Right? The artsy community, that's how we talk. So, I'm going to trim my edge, throw this out. You can fast forward through this part if you want, since you just watched me do it. But I'm just going to finish up all the pages I just cut out. So this is my last page. So calm down, it's the last one. Hearts. Not going to be fancy. Because, you know, you can layer the hearts up. You can make them into flower petals. You can do whatever you want. Make a long heart. I'm sorry, I'm still a little under the weather, so I have to drink a hot beverage every now and then. My cut edge where it's all, you know, the edges of the paper, do my triangles. I think it's Tisha Moore who did those hats, isn't it? Who else does those hats? I know there's more artists who have the hats. I just thought I saw it with Tisha Moore stuff. And then we'll cut some petals out of this. Now, if you're really into the magazine page stuff, see, look at those petals. They're not even that nice, but I'm still going to use them. If you're really into the magazine stuff, right, you can also make your centers out of a magazine page. But I decided to do like a dimensional center because of all of the texture and everything that was going on the paper. So we have all these petals. Now, we're going to take a little bit of a rabbit hole here, because I'm going to show you this box that is sorted with all kinds of goodness. I cut already. Like, look at, that's just one set of my wings that you can say whatever you want. Say whatever you want. And then, you know, I did a set like this. These are just ones I did when the paper was folded. On the folded edge, I just cut the shape of one side of a wing. You don't have to be good. Like, I am not good at it. Look at that. What is that? What on earth? I'm still going to use it, though, you know? I'm still going to use it. And I also, oh, I did dragonfly wings, too. I mean, who could screw that up, right? Who can screw that? I can't even screw that up. So you could definitely could not screw that up. So I did that. I have a whole compartment of triangles. I have hearts up the wazoo. So we're going to put our hearts away. And we're also going to put our triangles away. See, I just cut all these and put them, I have a basket that I use when I'm harvesting things, like when I'm doing little things like this. And once, like when I was die cutting a bunch of stuff at once, I'd fill up that basket. And once that basket is full, I go and I sort it all out, which is just a total nightmare, but that's the way my stupid brain works. So here's that, okay? The next side, because I did so many, are all of my petals and my large wings. Look at how crazy. I mean, is that just ridiculous? And these are just words that I had made in the past. Oh, look, the first word I grabbed is dragonfly. So these are all the petals I made, all different sizes. What do you need?
Mouse.
Mouse? Yeah. You have shows on in every screen in the house. It's empty. Yeah, it's an empty bottle. Mommy's going to make the bottle into beads. I'll show you when I'm done. You can see what recycling is like. Here. Mouse. It's coming. You gotta just wait, okay? I made all different shapes and size petals, okay? Like all different. And I also made a whole bunch, which is mixed in here, a whole bunch of little circles if I wanted to put them on top of my Tisha Moore hats. I know I keep calling, I don't even know if she's the one who did them. I just thought she was, so I could be wrong. Like, here's a circle, which is kind of big, but I have a bunch of itty-bitties in here, too. Here's a little tiny petal. So I'll use the petals that we just did, but I want to just show you that when I start something, it's no joke. So that's the box that I've been using. So take your petals, right? You don't have to flip them all over, but I'm just going to flip a bunch of them over so that we can get a good variety. Look at this one. We cut out the other side of this page, but I really like that flower planty looking wallpaper. So, you know, you just never know. You just never know when you're cutting things into shapes like this what you'll get on the shape. Okay. Look, we're going to totally put that face in a petal. That face belongs in a petal. There are just, you get some gorgeous colors and textures when you do stuff like this. So, I don't really feel like white. I do have white. I'm not going to lie. I do have some white-ish, some grayish looking. You know, sometimes you just need a duller color to really bring out the brightness of the other colors. Like, that's kind of a dull color, but I'm going to keep it because the other side is just an edge of a page. So, just flip them over. You know, I don't really want this because I don't want you to see the Tampax part. So I'm just going to get rid of that, but I'll keep the rest of them. Like some of my other petals I threw out because the way it cut wasn't right, but more often than not, we're totally going to have that guy's face. More often than not, you are surprised about what you find on these petals. So let's keep going, keep going. That's nice, that's nice. Okay, so we got all of our petals over here flipped over. You can line them up first and see how you like them. Oh, big pointer. Let's not start this just yet. I did just change my drop paper, but it is paper. get something that is very much non-stick. I use these cutting mats, and I also use a silicone mat because you're probably going to get glue on underneath. And if it's on paper, you know how that's going to pull up. So, my first few, I lined them up, right? Get a whole bunch of different colors. I lined them right up. Now, some petals, maybe you're going to have 5 petals. Some flowers, you might have 5, some you might have 6. You know, it all depends on the shapes of your petals. And I went through and I glued them underneath. You know, I held it and I picked up the edge with my glue and I glued it. I actually used my little needle tip glue bottle, which a few of you were asking me on my Beast video, the flip through, how I got my pages to lay so flat with the Elmer's glue. This is the tip. This is the trick. These are needle tip bottles that I bought off of Amazon. I got like 4 of them, and they were only a few bucks. But don't lose the pin, and don't break them. My last one, the pin broke off the tip, so I couldn't get the needle out. I had to get my pliers. So you can do it that way. But then once I got a little more confident that they were going to be wonky no matter what I did, I just took it out, put a strip of glue on the edge. Don't glue the whole thing. Put a strip of glue on the edge. These are going to be little flowers you're going to put in something. They don't need to survive a hurricane. Glue the edge. Glue the edge. Glue the edge. Oh look, I screwed my colors up, so I'm going to have this one which is too close. We'll grab another color. Here, we're going to put, oh, no, where'd it go? The face. We're going to put the face. The face is going to be watching you. I'm going to have to add another one. See? Because of the shapes, I have to add another one in. So I'm going to add this pink one. Okay, wow, this one's coming out better than my other ones did. Now, some of them, because of the shapes and the sizes of your petals, the centers are going to look so weird, and you're going to be so screwed up. You're going to be thinking, oh my god, oh, at the end, just get this last little, just stick your little nozzle down there, and or pick it up with your pinky nail and put a little squirt of glue. If you don't have a pinky nail, use a paper clip. Do something. Just pick up that edge, get a little bit of glue in there, call it done. Some of them, the way that the pages are going to line up in the centers, this is what screwed me way up. The way they lay in the center, you're like, man, that's hideous, right? That is so awful. But then you take a little centerpiece. These I got at Hobby Lobby on clearance a few months ago, so just so you know, they weren't, I got them, I'm sorry, they were on sale. But then once you put a center on it, you can't even tell. Once you put a center on it, that is how ugly it's going to look, right? Then you put that on there and you'll never even know that the underneath is weird. And if you have it and it's too weird, right, and you're like, this is just too much, grab a button, and you can grab any size button. You can make your center a larger button. You know, if you're like, I really don't like that center, put a big button in there. Cover up all that joining of the tips of the petals with something bigger. You know, you make a bigger center, it just accents the center, you know, it just looks better. Look, throw that big giant honking thing on there. Throw this little itty bitty pink thing. Look at this, little tiny one. You can, the possibilities are endless. So I'm going to go ahead and glue my gem on there, okay? If I don't drop my box of buttons. The gem, I use Aleene's, just, I know the Elmer's will work, but I am just so, let's get a color that'll complement it nice. Light pink or light purple. We'll do light purple. Oh man, I got a face in my flower, yeah. Alright, so that's going to dry for a minute, okay? Just make yourself a little pile. There's going to be a little bit of glue on your mat. Just rub it off. I'm sorry. I think I have a sinus infection, and I don't really want to admit that to myself yet, because you know how insurance stuff is, and it's like, who can afford doctor's visits anymore? Jeez. So, let's go ahead and do another one. Up the edge. Once you do a couple of them, you'll figure your spacing out too on the petals. Like, my first couple looked so weird, you know, of course, until I put my center on, then they just looked like wonky flowers. But you'll get the spacing of your petals figured out the way you like them after you do a couple of them. And the glue has some work time too, so you can, you know, move them around a little bit and get them into a place you think that they look best. Okay? So don't panic about, oh look, this is probably going to be my last one, so while I'm standing here, just throw that there. And do this, and grab a center. What color do we want to use? How about yellow? Yellow will look good. For my needle, I have a little drawer, plastic 3-drawer thing right there, and the handle on it has a little dip on the inside, so I keep my needle there every time. I suggest if you get something like this, have a place within reach that you can keep the needle all the time. I used to keep it on the keyboard of my laptop here. I kept my sewing needle there for when I was binding books. But then I lost my sewing needle and I thought it went underneath the space bar of my laptop, so I pulled the space bar off and then I kind of broke it, and now my space bar hardly works. So I don't put anything on there now. It takes me like 10 minutes. Ooh, let's do white. It takes me like 10 minutes to write up a description on my YouTube videos because of that stupid space bar. But you know, that's just the way it rolls. I forget that I just filled this bottle yesterday, so I keep over squirting because I'm used to it not being full. So yeah, this laptop, it's like older than dirt. So we're gonna let these dry for a second. One thing one thing you can do, and now I don't have any Posca paint pens, but with Amazon's like you know, Cyber Monday deals, I bought this set of paint pens for 15 bucks, and I don't know, I can't compare them, but I can tell you that I have been using these a lot, and I am very impressed. I am very impressed. Let's do white. I haven't done much with the white with these pens. I am very impressed with the way that they work. Now, I'm not going to tell you, this probably isn't going to come out perfect, and I haven't tried these. But let me get my paint activated out of here first. Get some white out of here. Okay. But I was thinking about just... You could do something like this, and you can do it with a Sharpie. You know, these are magazine pages. They are not... you know, paper that doesn't take ink or paint or whatever. So you can paint this, you can ink it, you can whatever, because these are just, you can draw it on. These are just magazine paper, so anything that works on a magazine page. See, but these, I love these paint pens. Oop, almost lost my cap there. Into the abyss of under the desk. And like I said, I don't have Posca, so you might be like, oh, you know, the Poscas are so much better if you compared the two, but I don't have anything to compare it to. And for the price, these do exactly what I want, and I got 18 colors. And I use them, you know, I use them for a lot of things. So I didn't want to invest in the Poscas because I was afraid I wouldn't use them as much. But now that I have this set, if I ever need more in the future, I might try the Poscas, since I do use these an awful lot for a lot of different things. And I've got some art journal projects in the works that I will probably use them for even more. Oh, I'm touching the paint. It dries quick. It does dry quick. I just don't know if it's dry underneath my fingers yet. Look at that. So I just edged that. This has silver and gold metallic colors too. This brand is Zeyar, Z-E-Y-A-R. So I recommend, if you're just dabbling in some kind of paint pen extravaganza, I recommend checking this brand out if you don't want to buy the Poscas. I'm really impressed. So here is our flower with the white edge, which I think looks great. And then I would probably do this one in like a gold because of the darker blues in it and the darker colors. I would probably do that one in a gold. But this video is already a half hour. You've been listening to me flap my jaws, so you've probably had enough. My next project coming up involves these, which is going to be a lot of fun. So, Vera May's singing in there the song from the show, Water, Water. She's so cute when she wants to be. So, I'm going to put those aside to dry, and I hope to see you the next time. Thanks for hanging out. I love you all. Ta-ta for now.